Hello and welcome back. I'm going to talk about the witching hour. I expected to find a bit more information about it, but I didn't. But I'm just going with it anyway. So this is probably going to be quite a short video. But anyway, so I use this term in everyday life, and I'm just like, oh, it's the witching hour. You know, the hour when weird things start happening, and I never really thought about it too much. But basically, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, although some folklore and things say either like midnight to the start of a new day or 3 to 4 in the morning. That, you know, that's the hour from 3 o'clock to 4. This is when the veil between life and death is at its thinnest. So supernatural activity is at its highest. So demons and ghosts and spirits and everything like that come out to play. And you just get more of that spooky activity at this time of day. But why 3 in the morning? Because apparently, so it suggests, Jesus the Christ himself was crucified at 3 p.m. So of course the opposite of that being 3 a.m. is basically the demonic hour. I don't know why it has to be the opposite to when Jesus was crucified, but apparently it is. And also witches, sorcerers and fairies are at their most powerful at this time. So if they were real, they would basically just get up to no good and be mischievous and stuff like that. But is it a thing? Is it a thing that you just wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning because you are woken up by demons and ghosts and spirits and stuff? No, don't be silly. Well, I mean, maybe it is. Maybe if you are sensitive to that kind of thing. Or it could be because that is where your natural REM cycle... sorry, I'm trying not to be too loud because it is like 1:15 in the morning, so it's nearly the witching hour. Anyways, this is like your natural REM cycle. So you go to sleep at, I don't know, 10 or 11, or apparently not because it's 1:15. So you naturally just wake up at this time of day anyway, and you're at your kind of most vulnerable, you know, you're like, and you see things, you know, you hear things, you see things. Like, it amazes me actually how many people believe that they've actually seen shadows and stuff at the end of their bed, or people, when all they've seen is like a shadow or some kind of black figure. Because I'm like, I'm not being funny, if you've just woken up and it's pitch black in your room, you will make shadows out of anything, you know, like whatever. So that is what the witching hour is to a point, and that's it. I did kind of get some stories, and then I realised I shouldn't really be stealing these stories. So I don't know if I can really share them now that I've done that. Maybe I can just be really vague. I don't know. So basically these are just all stories from people that woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning, or nearly 3. So one basically heard thud, thud, thud. No. Yeah, let's do that one. Heard some thuds. They thought it was their mum or their brother or their dad or whoever getting up to go to the toilet. So didn't really think much of it. And then was just laying there and heard this voice coming from the left of them to the side of them. It sounded like it was coming from outside. But it was too quick and muffled and just distorted for them to understand what they were saying. It sounded like it was coming from a radio or something like that. So they couldn't make it out, but they stumbled out of bed, looked out the window, and there was nothing there. So they were like... And they then got out of their room and sort of had a little look about, and their family was asleep. All of them were fast asleep. So no one was trudging, making thudding sounds, going to the bathroom. So, I'll also share a story of mine actually. So basically, well, this is my brother's story in our parents' house. I lived there from when I was born up until I moved out. They're still living there. So My brother, I don't think he actually told me. I think it was my mum that told me. But he basically, it was like nighttime. It probably wasn't the witching hour. I don't think it was necessarily that time of day. But he said he just happened to look out the window and could have sworn he saw a horse and cart going along, like crossing the road, I think. And of course, it's one of them ones where you kind of sort of, I don't know what he did, if he just looked away or was like, and then looked back and it was gone. That's creepy. I've never actually heard any ghost stories from anyone in my family apart from that's the closest. And also, I had a weird experience. So, for quite some time, I would say a few months, this wasn't the witching hour at all, it was around 11 o'clock at night, I would hear this weird sound. It was indescribable. It was like, I don't even know how to describe it. It was like, you know, when your ears kind of go vroom, 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 like that. But it wasn't that. It was outside my head, like outside. It wasn't in my head. Almost like a drum, maybe banging, like going from miles away, but like really loud, but not. I don't know. It was anyway. It was really, really weird. I couldn't really describe it. Obviously, I'm doing a really good job. And my friend stayed over one night, and bless her, she was just. And I said to her before we went to sleep, because we shared a bed. We always did when she slept over. It was innocent, okay. But we always shared a bed, a single bed as well, so not really very comfortable until I upgraded to a double. But anyway, and I said to her before we went to bed, I was like, I need you to hear this sound, or I need to know if you hear this sound, because it's actually got to the point where I was like really freaked out and it was driving me mad. It would always be when I was just laying in bed, like I wasn't asleep or anything, so I hadn't been to sleep. I just went to bed, laid there, waited, particularly this night, and I heard it. So I woke her up, and I was thinking, oh, she's not going to hear it because by the time she's like come to, it's going to be over because it didn't last long. But I woke her up and I was like, do you hear that? And she was like, yeah. Now, I don't know if she did hear it or if she was just like not quite awake yet, but I think she heard it, you know, because she said she did. So that's my little creepy thing. I don't know why. My friend, not that friend, another friend, has loads of creepy stories. Actually, oh my god. I'm going to have to get my friend to tell me stories about her kids, because the friend that used to stay with me, because her 4-year-old daughter refers to someone as her Earth Mother, I think. And she says that when they were younger than when not them, when her child was younger than 4 or whatever, she kind of just like look. So say my friend's here, she would just look like there beyond her and just smile and laugh. And I don't like that. That really scares me. And talking about, oh, that's my Earth Mother, that's my mother. Like, kids do have imaginary friends, so I do understand that. But it's one thing to know that they're not real. Like, I had imaginary, or I pretended. Like, did I really have an imaginary friend? I think I did, but I knew that they weren't there. Like, if my mum said to me, is there actually someone there? I'd be like, no. But my friend's daughter would be like, yeah, it's my Earth Mother. Eek. I'm going to have to get some stories off 2 of my friends. My other friend, she's had so many ghostly experiences. I will have to get her to basically document everything so I can just make a big video about it, because it is very interesting. And I'm trying to fill up this video a little bit because obviously I don't want to be reading these stories that I spent so long finding and then realising actually it's copyright, isn't it? There was one little short one where someone had a dream about a demon and then they woke up and their room was freezing cold. And they just had this overwhelming feeling that someone was sitting at the end of their bed watching them. and they turned the light on and no one was there, and that was exactly 3 a.m. Please do tell me if you've had any weird experiences, not just the witching hour, but just in general, because I find it so fascinating, but also scary. It's too late at night to be saying these things, actually, because I've now got to go to bed in a dark place on my own. Okay, wish me luck. Thanks for watching. Sorry this was a bit of a lame one actually, but I really need to upload a video like now, so I couldn't really have time to do any more research. I need to stop leaving everything so last minute, but procrastination is my middle name, and why give up what you're good at, basically. Anyway, take care of yourselves. Don't let the demons keep you awake at night, and we'll see you again soon.